The deadline for Georgia's 159 counties to certify the Senate runoffs has passed. Each county had until 5 p.m. today. Democrats Jon Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock are the projected winners in last week's elections. The state has until next Friday to certify the results, but officials have said they hope it's done by Inauguration Day, which of course is Wednesday. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger is already talking about the lessons learned, the ongoing election rumor mill, and how to restore faith in the vote-by-mail system. Last night, he was joined by election officials from 2 other states to talk about restoring trust in American elections. Mr. Raffensperger says addressing the daily rumor whack-a-mole, as he described it, was exhausting, but he said absolutely necessary. He attributed the loss of the 2 Republican Senate seats in Georgia to misinformation, to rumors and rhetoric from the president. Secretary Raffensperger says comments from President Trump created distrust in the election system and vote-by-mail systems in our state. As a result, far fewer Republicans trusted sending in absentee ballots. Here's Secretary Raffensperger recounting the moment he said things took a turn from rumors to dangerous rhetoric.
When President Trump, I guess, put pressure on the 2 U.S. senators, Republicans, to ask for resignation, that night is when the death threats started coming in. I got a few, but then my wife started getting those, and then it just degenerated even further. What happened, I think, what really, brought it to a head is that then we had an election worker in Gwinnett County was threatened. In addition, their family members, and that's when Gabriel Sterling, our implementation manager, went ballistic at a press conference that this needs to end because someone is going to get killed. And lo and behold, look what happened last week in the Capitol. And so that's really where it can go if you just continue to play with and stir the pot and play with people's emotion.
Secretary Raffensperger said there were also bright spots, including 40,000 new poll workers in Georgia learning about the election process. Moving forward, he says his office is discussing ways to make sure accurate information about Georgia elections is heard and taken to heart by all Georgians.